Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm Ryan, and I've hosted over 500 strangers in the last 2 years for dinner. It's not just a potluck experience. People aren't just coming over to my home. This is a ticketed event. Think of a crossover between self-development and dinner party. And the reason that I'm putting this video together is to share some of the lessons that I've learned over the last 2 years in facilitating the group. So this video is really for people who have a community, are looking to build a community, whether you're a manager, a CEO, a leader, a team captain, a coach, or a creator online who has a community via online platforms or in person. This is to help you cultivate more connection in your gatherings. I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts, my concepts, my systems, my beliefs throughout this video. And by the end of it, you should be able to implement at least one of them to improve your own gatherings. Shall we get started? Number one, influencers don't equal facilitators. They're different skill sets. And influencers are anybody with influence. Think CEOs, think musicians, think influencers via social media, think writers. Anybody who has an audience that is listening is who I'm considering an influencer here. To become an influencer, it takes bravado, it takes confidence, it takes understanding persuasion. But to be a facilitator, it takes awareness, it takes a keen understanding of group dynamics and an ability to not only understand the skills, but to understand the intuition behind what it feels like in a room with a group and what to do in each step live. I think it's beautiful that online influencers are trying to bridge the gap between followers and community, but the word community gets thrown around like a soggy chew toy. Think of it this way. You have a favorite musician, somebody that you would love to go see live. You go see them live and you meet one other person at the concert. The connection point is the artist, the person, the influencer who brought you together. You have an anchor point, you have a thread, but I can almost guarantee that you leave that concert, and if that relationship, if the conversation, if more isn't fostered with that new connection, it's gonna die. And that's the idea between influence and facilitation. When a group comes together, there's a point of interest. They gathered in that room, they came together for a reason. The skill of facilitation is figuring out how to co-create connection within that room, not making it about you, but making it about them. How does your community, how do the people in the room get to know each other more, get to find more connection points, and ultimately exchange information so they can continue the conversation and continue the connection outside of that room? That's the art, that's the difference. That is facilitation. And because I'm a nerd and I'm learning to draw in Canva, I'll put it somewhere. Maybe I'll put it over here, there's more space. This is how I visually see it. One is influence, one is facilitation. Two, the spectrum of connection. There's a reason that alcohol goes hand in hand with most events. Alcohol makes money, and alcohol makes money because it makes us numb. When we have interactions, when we go to a space where we're like, man, I just want to let go, loosen up a bit. You've probably heard 100 times. Having a drink allows me to skip what it really takes in my nervous system to make myself comfortable, to get to the place where I cannot feel awkward. You might still be awkward walking up to that other person in the bar, but you won't feel awkward. That's why alcohol is a hell of a drug, because it allows you to be who you want to be without having to do the work to be that person internally. Oof. I don't mean to cut nobody deep right here, but that is a big challenge with events, because the point of facilitation in my mind is to cultivate connection, right? If we bring in this substance that takes me from level 1 on the spectrum to level 7 on the spectrum without having to do anything, then guess what? Tomorrow morning I wake up and I have this vulnerability hangover because I'm sharing things about my life without really being in my own agency and understanding what I'm doing. So then I retract and I don't speak to that person again, or I get embarrassed, or shame takes over, or I feel like a sense of guilt, like I was overwhelming them with my story. And that's the opposite of connection. At Dynamic Dinner, the event that I was talking about that I've been putting on for the last 2 years, we take people's phones and we don't have alcohol in the space. So it's fully reliant on the facilitation of the evening to cultivate the sense of safety, the sense of play, the sense of fun, the sense of connection throughout the entire process. And let me be clear about something. I think safe spaces are bullshit. I don't think they really exist. We're all human. I can't make you think something or make you not think something. What we can do though is make a space as safe as possible. I'm not promising you that you're not going to be judged in this room, but I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure we're all on a similar playing field and a similar frequency, that there's a felt sense of safety enough to create vulnerability, which creates this reciprocity effect. If I share something vulnerable, you feel safe because you just heard me and watched me walk into courage and share something vulnerable, so you can share something vulnerable because you trust me. And those interactions throughout the night create safety, which honestly creates a lot of fun, creates play, creates connection, creates deeper diving, deeper questions. It sounds corny, but a lot of it's just based in safety. Matter of fact, I just thought about it, but I'm going to drop the question cards that I use when people break up into smaller groups down in a link in the description, so you can download them for free and use them directly or use them for inspiration for when you get your group together next. Number 3, healthy hardship. Here's an unpopular opinion. I don't believe that connecting through challenge is equal to trauma bonding. I feel like there's a lot of that out in the ether. But I believe that humans connect the fastest and the deepest through challenge, through chosen challenge. If you go out and hike a 14er in Colorado with a new group of human beings, I bet by the end of it, you're like, oh, we're all like best friends. And it was through the challenge that created that. It could be doing something hard as shit physically together. It could be running a marathon. And on the same token, it could be sharing vulnerably. Sharing vulnerably is a challenge for humans, for us, for me, for you. And when we do that together in a way that's additive, we create deeper connection way faster. Think of the last bullshit networking event that you went to and everyone's walking around like way up here, almost like with this face on, handing out business cards and like, hey, how are you? I'm great. And it feels like, am I even talking to a real person? Or what do you want? That's because there's a sense of vulnerability typically lacked. I dare you at the next networking event that you go to share something that's really on your heart and see what happens. I guarantee that person either beelines away or they remember that forever. I think I put the card thing a little too early. This is where I should have put it. The cards will help cultivate healthy hardship conversations. Okay, next one. Number 4, destroy etiquette. Etiquette is salad fork, soup spoon, dessert fork. Don't fuck it up. Instead, create temporary rules. This is directly from the queen of gathering in the modern age, Priya Parker herself. She said, set temporary rules like, tonight we don't talk about work. That is a temporary rule. For dynamic dinner, we have 4 or 5, I can't remember specifically right now, but we have a handful of very specific rules that we tell people, this is the rules of the game tonight. Are you down? At the front end, like childlike curiosity, leaning into the yellow light, being courageous, and we tell them what that means to us. If they're down, amazing. They come in and we create this like alternate universe. If you've ever been to Burning Man, it's the same concept. You go out in the desert, you abide by these rules, and we create this temporary universe. Every good event is approached like that. It's a temporary universe. I love the way Priya Parker says this. I'm going to read it directly. She says, in a rules-based gathering, the behaviors are temporary, whereas etiquette fosters a kind of repression. Gathering with rules can allow for boldness and experimentation. Rules can create an imaginary, transient world that is actually more playful than your everyday gathering. That's because everyone realizes the rules are temporary and is therefore willing to obey them. Pop-up rules are free of the ethnocentric, classist pretensions of etiquette because they're made up. Their impermanence is a sign of their humility. We're agreeing on it as you come in. If you don't agree to the rule, don't come in. But at least you know the rule when you walk in. Plus, one of the big benefits of these temporary rules is they're clear. Etiquette isn't always clear. When you walk into a room that has etiquette, you realize like through the experience, oh shit, there's something going on here that I don't understand. And then it takes time for somebody who knows the etiquette to teach you the etiquette. And that exchange is actually taking away from the experience of the event itself, because this person is now focused on helping you. You're focused on learning this thing that already feels this uncomfortable. And the facilitator is trying to run the experience that you two are no longer a part of, at least in that moment. Okay, you get it. Temporary rules destroy etiquette. Number 5, community is a byproduct, and it should be. As a gatherer, as a leader, as a facilitator, as a manager, whatever you are watching this video, you don't create community. You offer a way of being, you offer a value set, you offer a mission, you offer a direction, you offer a game plan that people say, yeah, that I want to be about that thing. I want to be that person. I want to fill this role. And then community is created. I think approaching community for community's sake is a horrendous idea. I mean, not the essence of it. If you're like, man, I really want to build a community and I want to have people loving each other, I think that is beautiful. Or I want people to show up for each other, or I want people to show up for me. That's amazing. But approaching a business or approaching the actual project itself with like, no, I want to host community, it will not last and you will burn yourself out. There has to be something else. There has to be a mission. There has to be something that you're going towards that people can say, yo, me too. And then the community is cultivated. Your job is to focus on the values, the mission, the offering, the experience, and then to help create bridges. If all you do is focus on helping create bridges, I promise it will be the fastest way to burning out, and it won't make any money. I've been learning this the hard way. We charge $77 per person per plate for the experience because I'm running a business, not a charity. And if people love the experience, love the values, love what we're about, love what we're doing, they're gonna pay it. And it's cultivating a seriousness, if you will, or an intention of the people in the room that say, yo, I'm about this thing. So they get more out of it, and the people around them get more out of it. And it feels like an upward spiral. Plus, I have personal beliefs around creating wealth and my game plan, but this isn't the video for that. Matter of fact, that's it for this one. I do dive deeper into this in my newsletter this week. It's called Fearless Framing. If you want to be a part of that and learn about living life more alive through health, wealth, relationships, and wisdom, sign up with the link down in the description. And if not, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Damn, it feels good to be back on YouTube. Hey, if you're somebody who used to watch my travel videos and you've made it this far, I love you. Thanks for being here. Mwah.